So I'm doing a different kind of meal prep today, but you'll see how it works. It's not really a prep, but it's kind of prep for whenever I want to cook. So that's maybe what I'll call it, a prep for cooking. We're doing a different kind of meal prep today. In the past, what I've done is I've taken the meat and cooked it in the crock pot or whatever, but I'm doing something a little different today. But I need to pull these two out because these are not included. Yeah, so I'll show you what I'm doing, but these are all defrosted, so hang on. So lately what I've enjoyed doing is having the meat in packages and ready for me to go in a raw state. So I'm not going to be crock potting, okay? I just had this out because I needed a large vessel to put this in. And this crock pot is the largest vessel that I own. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to take all these it's 93% ground beef. So that's what these are. And I'm going to get them all in here. And then I'm going to put them in individual Ziploc bags so that Terri can pull out a Ziploc bag, and I could use that I can cook it that evening, or the day before, or whatever I want to do, whether I do it like a burger patty, or whether I do it like a, hang on, this is a really, really big one I'm about to do, so let me make a little room. But whether I do it ground up in the skillet, however I do it, that's whatever that day Terri is going to decide. So I've honestly been doing that because you've been following me very long. I have always, this may not be defrosted enough. Let's see. Nope. So what I'll do is I'll work with the ones that I have, and then I'm just going to set this in, can you see it? This big old thing, it's I think it's 4.5 pounds. I'll just leave this sitting to the side, and I'll work with that one later. But I have all these little ones open, so let's move over here. This is still part of me kind of working through the meat in my freezer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little over half. I don't know. I'm just going to take what looks like a little over half of that, because this is the 93%. And I'm going to stick it down in a Ziploc bag, and then I will kind of mush it down into something later. So I'll take that little chunk and chunk from another one, and that'll be good enough. And then this whole one over here, or not whole, but what's left from that other one. It's not going to be a measuring thing, I can tell you that much. I can pull a little bit of that off. I'll put that over back into this here one. Okay. And then this was that whole one. Like I said, this is not scientific. I'm not weighing or measuring right now. I'm just getting it in the general form, and that'll be fine. It's fine. So I have a couple more here. So let me take this one, plop this into here. So I have a couple more. Let's see, you're a part. This is a part. And this is a part. So that might be a little more than... Let's see, so then this one, I need to open up one more. Hang on. That one's still a little partially frozen. I'm just going to put these ends together. Again, it ain't going to be perfect, but it'll be something. Well, who doesn't have as much? Nobody. You ain't got as much. I'll put some you. Maybe a little with you. Maybe a little with... No, you don't. I'll put a little with you. How about you? What you gonna look like? Maybe a little with you. I'll finish it off with this one. So now... What I'm going to do to let that other, and just know I'm going to do this same thing with the one that's here in my sink. right here. I'm just going to plop this in here. And I'm just going to let that defrost. And when it is done defrosting, I'm going to do the same thing that I'm going to show you all right now. Like I said, I'm just letting that defrost. Or I let all of them defrost. Okay, now this is the lean ground beef, okay? So these, I've noticed that whenever I did the 80-20 versus the 93%, the 80-20 sticks together a whole lot better. And I think that's because it's more fatty, you know what I mean? So right now, I'm just kind of trying to shape it into a flat thing. And then, it's still a little frozen. So, but anyway, so I'm just going to kind of flatten this out a little bit. So that way, when I'm going to pop these back in the freezer. And then I will put these, just like I do what I've been doing, is I've been putting them in my rotation in my refrigerator. So by the time their day comes around that they defrost, I just plop this in a skillet, or I will put it in the air fryer, whichever one. But these are about to be refrozen. I'm just kind of giving them a little bit of a different texture, a different shape, so that I have something to work with, and it's easier on each individual day, Terry. So this one's a little thicker, so it'll be like a thick, lean steak. I might flatten it out a little bit better. All right, and then this one, I'm doing it with the dealie open at first, just to kind of help it, I don't know, help it something. But anyway, so yeah, and then I'm literally, after I'm done, I'm just going to pop these bad boys in my freezer, and I'll show you. I won't show you with that one, because just know I'm doing the same thing with that one. But that will probably, see if that's 4.5, that will probably make at 7 or 8. We'll just say 7 or 8 of these packages. No, not 8, but more like 6 or 7. We'll just go with that number. And yeah, so this way, like I said, then and I'll show you how they look in my refrigerator. I mean, in my freezer. And I can show you how it looks in my refrigerator. Let's mush these up. But this is how I've been doing these, just so then all I have to do is pull them out of the freezer in my 4-day rotation, which reminds me, my 4-day rotation is, I only have 2 days. I need to pull out 2 more frozen. So, like I said, some of these have more than others, and so someday Terry's going to be fuller than others, but that's all right. It ain't going to hurt nothing. It won't kill me. It won't kill me. This one could have used some of that, but that's all right. Some of that air out of there. Just a second. I'm almost done. This is going to be a short video. Short video. All right. So now what I'll do is I'm going to take all these and I'm going to lay them in the freezer. I'll show you. Come on. All right. They've got them right down there, and they're going to freeze. When they freeze solid, they're going to be added to this right here, which you can see I have them lined up. So like here's one, and that's how it looks. And I did them bigger before, but I feel like that's more than what I need. And then these are some burger patties that I did. So now I'll show you how I do it in the rotation in my refrigerator. So this is my rotation. You see I have 1, 2, 3, and I'm about to put in a 4th one. I'm putting that little container there because these have been leaking, and it just kind of keeps my freezer or my refrigerator better. So each stack, well, some of those don't, but those are the vegetables. Those are the what are them things that I made up? Y'all know, squash. Those little squash things. So that's 93 and then a steak, and then 80-20 and a steak. And so then, by the time they get over, so this is today's food, and by the time I pull this out for today, it's been in there 4 days. So you can see I've got some, I did some of the pork belly, 2 burgers, And I guess I did not pull out any vegetables for today, but that's all right. And one of these steaks. Now here's the thing. This steak is probably the chuck roast that I cut up. But anyway, so today I'll pull this out. I'll put it down here. I didn't cook anything today because I knew I'd be working from home. So anyway, so I pull that down, and then I'll slide this one here. Hopefully you can see this one there. They're frozen, so they're not working with me very well. I'll duck down. That one there. Hang on. That one there. So see now 2 becomes 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, and I'm missing a 4. So I'm going to get a 1 for the 4th slot. I'll just set this down below. Take it out of this container. This will be the last one of these veggies, so Terri's going to have to prepare something or think ahead in one way or another. I got an 80-20 and another steak of some sort. And there you go. So I think I'm going to pull out a couple more of these pork bellies. That's just kind of what I ranked. Do I have one there? No. Here, I'll just stick it on that day. So that day, Terri can have some pork belly. One of these days, whichever one takes it. Anyway, so I know it's not a very stacked, nice position, but it works. So that's how I do it. So it'd be today. Well, but I took today's out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I rotate them like a horseshoe. And that's how I know what I'm eating and what I'm doing. So if I decided today to go ahead for another day, I could prep a bunch. I used to do that. I used to only have cooked meat. I've really enjoyed going and using my my skillet in the evening. It's just so fresh. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll cook we'll just say tonight's supper, and then throw in tomorrow's burgers, lunch burgers, or lunch steak, whatever it is I use. And then I cook that at the same time. And then tomorrow evening's Terri does the same thing. And so I used to not want to cook in the evenings, but I've actually been enjoying it for something a little different, you know? So that's been kind of what I've been doing lately. So that's how I'm prepping it in baggies. And then now you're seeing the process of how it works. So you can see, like I said, this has been out for 4 days. So that's the pork belly. And again, the burgers. And so those are ready to go. But again, I did not cook for today's Terri because I knew I was going to be working. I knew I was going to be home all day. So anyway, so yeah. So this is today's food, and that'll just sit right there until I cook it. So, all right, now you're officially in the loop. Bye.